Hi, I'm Dark Morte, and I'm here at Film for FrightFest 2014. I'm here to interview some awesome directors and actors. So, let's go and find out what all the buzz is about.
So, how are you finding this year's FrightFest?
This year's FrightFest is absolutely awesome. There's Green Inferno, personal favourite, followed by Gun Beavers.
Teddy Scare is coming! Teddy Scare is coming! Help me!
Don't owe you. Don't owe you. What? Sorry.
Hello.
I'm here with director Dan Brownlie, who is making The Tombs Rise of the Damned.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, and this is basically, you've got a Kickstarter campaign going, you're funding it now, you've started a bit of production, haven't you? Can you tell me a bit more about the film?
Yeah, sure. Well, the film's basically, I came up with the idea when me and one of my business partners, Danny Thompson, went to a press night there, and they actually told us it was built on a plague pit. So we had this really good idea that maybe they had a press night there and some of the evil spirits in the plague pit kind of got pissed off, rose up and started possessing the animatronics, and they ran around causing havoc. And we talked to the Tombs and they 100% back us, so yeah, we went ahead.
Fantastic. And what better venue can you have it in, really?
I know, it is amazing. We did a pitch video there a couple of weeks ago and the footage is looking amazing, and that's just a pitch video. The feature film will look absolutely fantastic.
Anywhere people can find out more about your film and perhaps help back it?
Yeah, sure. We have a Twitter and Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Tombs Movie, and Twitter is @TheTombsMovie. And I'd also like to give a shout out to the London Tombs, who have backed us completely. They've been nothing but supportive and absolutely amazing. So it's a scariest attraction. It's won multiple awards, so go there and get scared with us.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with Jill Sixx, director of Cool Girl, which has premiered at FrightFest today, hasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And did you get a good reaction?
Yeah, it went great. It was completely full, no seats left, and the crowd laughed at all the right parts, and it was great. Yeah.
Fantastic. And how are you finding FrightFest in general?
I'm loving it. I'm a huge fan of the genre, and I've never been to a festival of this size, and so I was, excited just myself to see a lot of the films.
Okay. And Cool Girl's about a date gone wrong, isn't it? Can you explain a little bit more about that without giving too much away?
It's about a man who plans to share his date night through webcam without the girl knowing that's happening, that other people are watching. So, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And is this your first film, or have you directed other films?
Yeah, it's my first film.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. And what is it about the horror genre that's drawn you in?
Well, I've loved it since I was, a little kid. I just loved to be scared, or I would go, explore the woods or places I wasn't supposed to be just because it scared me. I always liked that feeling. I don't know, and I was just a big fan for years, so I started going to horror conventions, and it's kind of where I got inspired by meeting a lot of indie filmmakers and seeing that, they did it. So that's what kind of gave me the guts to try it myself.
Fantastic. And you're taking Cool Girl to other horror conventions around the world, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next stop for Cool Girl?
Actually, I'm going to Manchester on Tuesday to screen it at the Fab Cafe. Then Thursday we're playing it in Limerick, Ireland.
Okay, brilliant.
But next month it's playing Sydney Underground in Australia. We have a lot coming up. Mile High in Denver, Colorado.
Truly global.
Yeah, it's going well. It stars a local from Lawrence Harvey from the Human Centipede 2.
Wow.
I wish he could have been here. He'll be at the Manchester screening on Tuesday.
Fantastic. Yeah. He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's just like a natural. It's like he carries the whole the whole thing. I feel like I'm so lucky to have him.
He's got that sort of classic horror presence, hasn't he?
He does.
Yeah. I don't think you get many people that have got that.
Yeah.
I think he's naturally got that. Okay. And what's next for you in terms of a future film? Are you going to do another short, a feature? And if you're doing something, what would you like that to be?
Well, I'm working with the writer of Call Girl on a couple things, and I would like to make another short that we have plans to then turn into a feature. As kind of a way to show the idea around and then try to turn it into a feature. Since this is my first film, I'd like a little more experience before I dive into the feature, but I'm really anxious to get another project going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm here with Vessy and Chelsey Burdon, co-directors of short film She. Hi. Hi. How's it been going so far at FrightFest? Your film premiered today?
Earlier today, yeah. Went really well. We're really pleased with it. It had a good reception, got people talking, so just what we wanted.
Fantastic. And the film itself is about a couple. They're going further down in their relationship. There's no love lost between them now. It's coming up to their anniversary dinner. Instead of one of them just ending a relationship in a normal way, it's going to be quite horrific, isn't it? So, is there anything you can tell me about the film without giving too much away?
Because of the way we wrote it, there's not really a lot we can say without giving too much away. We feel it works in the same way as Nike's audition. If you go in completely blind, it works. That's so much better. But I think our influences for the film are quite telling of what it's actually like. Heavily influenced by Lars von Trier's Antichrist, Paddy Considine's Tyrannosaur, Park Chan-wook's Lady Vengeance. So really get the gist of what it's like from those.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it's a revenge film. It's a relationship that goes wrong, and that's probably the best way to say it without giving anything away.
Okay, fantastic. And stars Fiona Dorif, daughter of Brad Dorif, who is obviously Charles Lee Ray, aka Chucky, in the Chucky films, and Fiona's also recently played the lead character in Curse of Chucky. So she's obviously following in her father's footsteps in terms of horror and stuff like that. How did you come to work with Fiona?
It's a funny one, really. Mark suggested it. It was all his idea. We saw her in Curse of Chucky here last year, and he turned and said to me that she'd be perfect for the part.
Yeah.
I didn't really think we had any chance of getting her on board, but we scurried about online, managed to find her agent's contact details, and just sent her it off the cuff. We didn't even really expect to get a reply. But she loved it, so we were really lucky to get her because she makes the film what it is. She's fantastic.
She really is brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah, she's
as biased as it sounds, we think it's probably the best performance. It's definitely her most different performance today.
Yeah, I think part of the reason she loved it so much is because she was worried about kind of becoming a bit typecast after Curse of Chucky, and it's not kind of a scream queen kind of role really. It allowed her to play against type a little bit.
I think that's definitely something I want to tackle in my career as well. Giving typecast actors a chance to explore different and more exciting roles. I think we've done that here.
I hope so, yeah. She was really up for it. She really enjoyed it, and she's been very supportive of it. So we'd love to work with her again as well. You never know, there might be another one in the future.
Absolutely, fantastic. And you also had SFX Prosthetics from Paul Wilde, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now I know Paul, he's very, very good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Did you give him free rein to do whatever he wanted, or?
To some degree, yeah. I mean, we told him what it was that we'd be wanting, and he kind of went away and then kind of went above and beyond what we were expecting from him. So we're really pleased with his work as well. Paul's brilliant. He's really professional, and just great to have around on set as well. He knows so much about how things operate.
Absolutely.
The first batch of prosthetics that he gave us are the ones that we used. We didn't have to make any adjustments. Not even on the day. I mean, his work was just flawless, really. Probably something that people are going to remember for a while after they've seen it.
Yeah, we hope so.
Okay, fantastic. And what is it about the kind of horror genre that's made you want to create a short in that, and potentially go forward and create other horror shorts, features, that kind of thing?
Well, it's a strange one. I mean, I think we both have different opinions on it, really. Because I don't really see it as a horror short.
It's a short film that's horrific. It's not a horror film by standard means.
I think I've always said that it's like a domestic drama with horror influences. Because my favourite directors are people like Lars von Trier and Gaspar Noé, who don't make horror films, but they're accepted by the genre. I think those are the best types of horror films that aren't really horror films.
For me, it's less about horror as such. I mean, I love the genre. I've always been a big horror fan, but in terms of the type of stuff I want to do and go on to create, it's more about a story where, a story that's dark. I love anything to do with revenge and all that kind of side of things, but it's just more about exploring the darker sides of who we are and what we do, and that obviously goes hand in hand with horror. So,
absolutely. Okay, and what's next on your radar, or what would you ideally want to be doing next?
I think we both have some separate projects that we're working on the side. We made an announcement at the screening that she will be the first instalment of our Domesticide trilogy.
Okay.
And I think probably there's some exciting things in the pipeline, I think.
Yeah, so it is the start of a trilogy. It's not necessarily a narrative continuation, but it's a thematic trilogy, really.
Like March Henry's Vengeance trilogy, I think was our main inspiration for it.
Yeah, we wanted to have our own kind of little revenge trilogy. So, Lady Vengeance is probably one of my favourite films, and I love revenge dramas. So this was our chance to do our own kind of thing within this. There are two others in the pipeline to complete it.
Okay, fantastic. So fingers crossed, back here next year then.
Yeah.
Next instalment.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'm here with Paul Ewen, who is a career monster. Is that right, Paul?
Career monster. Well, I spent most of my life in makeup, and I was born to watch horror movies, I suppose. So I've always dreamed of being monsters. I love dressing up. I've always done amateur theatre. I was in the school play at school. My first play was nativity play. I was second wise man. But unfortunately, there were no zombies in it. Well, there was Jesus in it, and he later became a zombie. But
pretty much.
But a career monster. So I've always loved dressing up, putting on masks. And as I've got older, I've sort of learned the finer details of makeup, and rather than just putting on rubber masks, more prosthetics now and other things, and making teeth and putting in contact lenses and designing whole costumes. And that's it really, so yes.
And this has basically led to you being involved in films such as Cockness v Zombies, you've been in the Resident Evil 6 video game.
Yes, I've done...
Kim Wilde, Every Time I See You Go Wild.
Yes, I've done...
It's basically a whole plethora of credits.
Yeah, I've done some of the promotional films they shoot for FrightFest, like the ones like Turn Your Phone Off and stuff like that, I've done that as well. I usually sort of try and... I'm a bit of a media whore, so if I hear anything that's going on, I try and sort of get my finger in and sort of say, do you need zombies, or do you need psychos in the background or something like that? And
And you're very good. And you add a little bit of humour in there as well, don't you?
well, hopefully. I just hope it's going to lead to sort of bigger budget stuff. It's all sort of independent stuff where you don't get paid. But I I mean, Cockneys vs Zombies was the biggest film I've been in so far, and even then, they didn't pay the extras. In fact, it cost me 20 quid travel to get there to be in it. They fed us, and it was very nice food, I have to admit. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, basically then, Hollywood people, they need to come to you, get you involved in their films. Paul's a fantastic zombie. any kind of monster you can imagine, really, you can do it, can't you?
Hopefully, yeah. I specialise in zombies, but I like to vary it. I get bored. I know some people who just zombies all their life. All right, the guys I know have got it down to a T, but I like to sort of try different things, show my versatility. So I can do werewolves. Currently, this time it's werewolves, zombies. Well, I can do any sort of slasher, sort of plunk you want. Anyone in a sort of default, anyone sort of big guy in a sort of weird mask I can do. I can murder teenagers left, right, and centre if you want.
Yeah, and it's not just the body movement and acting and the aesthetics. When you can actually act as well, you did Stitches the Clown, didn't you? That was your first talking part, is that right?
No, there's no talking in it. I laugh in it, but there's actually no verbals in it. There is a promotional shot we did in the forest where I speak, which is online.
Yes.
Where I say bloody cuts. I basically advertise the production studio. But otherwise, no, in the main film itself I didn't get to speak, unfortunately.
Okay.
And then the main film Stitches came along. Who's that comedian? What's his name?
Yeah.
Who's the Geordie comedian with long black hair?
I don't know his name. I know.
He came along in that film Stitches, stole my limelight. So when people say, "Oh, you're in Stitches," they go, "Were you really? What, that comedian?" And I say, "No, we were there first." But
absolutely.
Yes.
And so, apart from your drive to go to Hollywood next, what's next in the pipeline for you in terms of independent films and stuff like that?
Well, what have I got in the pipeline? Not a lot. There's the October Zombie Walk, the London sort of Zombie Day Walk. What else? It's a bit dry at the moment. In the summer, it all sort of seems to dry up a little bit. Mind you, recently I shot a vampire film. I think it's called Vampire Resurrection. I think that's the working title at the moment. And I was a background vampire with that, but I stuck my teeth in. I like my teeth I usually wear, so that sort of got me to the front of it. Mind you, one scene I was grinning. I was seen grinning just to show off the teeth, and the director said, "No, you can't grin like that. It's too comical." But what was that?
Things like the Lost Boys and stuff.
Lost Boys. I've never actually seen the Lost Boys.
You need to watch it.
I've seen the start. I've seen the finish. I can't see the cult attraction really, but.
Try again. Try and watch the whole thing.
Well, I have to say vampires. I'm a bit passé, I think. I know you like doing Underworld and Celine and all that, but unfortunately I haven't got the look of a vampire. I know a few guys. I mean, you've got the look of a vampire. There's a guy called Demon Daz who has the look of a vampire. But they're all sort of thin, reedy thin, all long black hair. I haven't got that.
Yeah, the gothic look.
I'm never going to be a lead man in a vampire film. I'm just going to be the henchman at the back or the sort of...
I don't know.
Whereas with the bigger guys, if I can be a Frankenstein monster or say something like Leatherface, who's big, I'll try and use my size for that sort of role.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
The UK's #1 career monster.
Well, I like to think so, but a bit more payment wouldn't go in this. I'll tell you that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cheers.
I'm here with Hollywood SFX artist Robbie Drake, who's worked on films such as Nightbreed.
Well, lots of other films. Attack the Block, Cockneys vs Zombies, Da Vinci's Demons, the TV series. Lots of stuff over the years, spanning 25 years.
Yeah.
Hollywood and South London. It's all good fun. Still working, but it's all good fun. Especially coming to FrightFest to see something I've worked on as well.
Absolutely. And that was Emily Boo's new short film, Self-Punishment.
Yeah, it was. It seemed so long ago when we filmed it. Last year sometime. And it was good fun. And it was different. It was a nice character, like creature makeup rather than doing gore. because I just get so fed up of doing gore that it's just nice to do a creature and something a bit different.
So you've pretty much done every kind of SFX prosthetic-wise, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Films, really.
I've done creatures, I've done zombies, werewolves, demons, all the blood and gore you can imagine. So it was nice to do something that I hadn't done before.
And in this case it was mermaid prosthetics, wasn't it?
Yeah, well the Selkie, actually the legend of the Selkie is it's a woman who's half seal. And we didn't go down the seal line. So it
quite as glamorous, is it?
Yeah, and obviously budget restrictions meant we couldn't really do anything below the waist, which is why you never see her tail or her legs or anything like that. But it just meant we could do, just play with it, and as long as it had sea creature sort of elements, so that's why we did webbed hands, and there was the fin on her back, and the gills as well, so it suggested sea creature. But it was a nice one to do.
Yeah, I've seen the prosthetics, on screen, and they look fantastic. It rather reminds me more than your splash kind of prosthetics.
Yeah.
More sheep.
Yeah. Well, that's what we wanted. But I mean, she wanted it to still be feminine, so I couldn't go too far with it. But no, I think it came out really well, and the audience seemed to appreciate it.
So that's fantastic. We're going to film out FrightFest.
Yeah.
And what have you got next in mind?
I've been working on a film called Benny Loves You, which is about a killer toy. It's been a very, very weird and quiet year. Lots of shorts, lots of sort of low budget stuff. Nothing. A TV show for CBeebies. First thing I've ever done that my little boy could watch. But no, it's been an interesting year, and hopefully, we've got other things in the pipeline. There was a film that I'm supposed to do in the States, but called Kill Everyone, which should be interesting. Literally, you kill everyone. It's a slasher movie. I've got another film that's being released at Halloween that I did. Almost seems like a couple of years ago now. Called Serial Caller. Directed by Dan Brownlie, and that's a proper old 80s slasher movie. So that was good fun. But all these are going to be coming out, quite soon. And now obviously Halloween's coming up, so hopefully, get busy with the fangs and.
Yes, I'm going to come on to that. So you don't just cater for the film market. If people want custom prosthetics,
that
kind of thing, you will do that.
I take on jobs at Halloween, and obviously I've got a regular business making fangs for the goth and vampire scene, and that gets quite busy towards Halloween. So it should get. I think it's going to get busy over the next month.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here at FrightFest with Damon Rickard, director of the tour, short film showcasing on Monday. So, Damon, how have you enjoyed FrightFest so far?
So far, it's been brilliant. It's been a really strong lineup so far. Some of the films have just been, even the Discovery Screen ones have just been really, really strong. Actually, my favourite one so far, The Canal, I was sitting in the Discovery Screen. Brilliant film, really, really entertaining. So it's been so far excellent year.
Fantastic. And your own short film is basically, it's more of a classic British ghost story revolving around a haunted manor, an 18th century manor house. It's basically brought tragedy since its construction. Can you tell me a little bit more about the film?
Okay, well, we wanted to do something quite simple. We didn't want to try and be too ambiguous because it's our first one. So we thought something classical, something simple would be good. We went with a haunted house story, but we wanted to do it slightly differently. So it might not be exactly what people expect, which is what we're hoping for. And it's simply this town which uses the infamously of the house to bring in tourism, because it's really economically it's struggling. So we sort of thought we'd put a bit of politics in there as well. But then the tour guide, he gets a little bit of a soft spot for these two lovely-looking American tourists that he's got on there, and offers them to have a private tour of the house. But none of them quite expect what they find when they go in.
Okay, fantastic. And So basically, this kind of thing's happening all over the UK right now. There are lots of different pubs, hotels, that kind of thing, which have their own haunted sort of tales and stories, which are used as a selling point to attract people to those places. Were you inspired by any of those, or indeed any other sort of haunting films around now?
I've grown up with a lot of haunting films. I mean, one of my favourite horror films is The Haunting, Robert Wise film. So yeah, there is inspiration in that, and I've done ghost tours. I actually even went and filmed a TV pilot. They wanted to be the next most haunted. So we spent the night in a house which was supposedly haunted by Dick Turpin. There was some strange goings on in there. Unfortunately, the deal they had fell through, didn't happen with it. But I've always been interested in that sort of thing. I do believe in the supernatural. I've done Ouija boards and things like that. So for me, yeah, there's lots of things which made me want to do a ghost story. Ghost stories, I think you don't need to have big gore. You don't need to have big grandiose settings or anything. You can do it very easily, very simply, and I do love a good ghost story. So
It's more about the sort of chill factor and the suspense, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of creeping terror.
Yeah, we wanted to do something where it was built, so we wanted to build it. We've essentially set the shot up. The tonally of the film, we split it in two. You've got the introduction of the characters, it's all quite nice and friendly. Then as soon as the doors close in the house, we go, right, we're going to build you up, we want to scare you now. So.
And so this was your first entry into horror, wasn't it? And in fact, filmmaking.
Yep.
Although you have done some music videos and assignments before.
Yep.
So what made you create a horror film? And what is it about the horror genre that's drawn you into it?
I've always wanted to do a horror film. I grew up with horror. I've been watching horror films since I was 7, when I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's been literally a massive part of my life. I mean, the music videos we did, that was people with no money. We literally just got what we could, a camera, very minimal lights, and shot stuff. So it's more about, whereas we didn't have DOPs or anything. So I wanted to get that experience as well, doing all that. When I moved into making a film, it was always going to be a horror film for me. It's been my favourite genre throughout my entire life, so there was no other choice. And for me, the thing with horror films is they cross everything. So you've got you've got comedies, you've got thriller horrors, you've got psychological horrors, you've got you can even have romantic horror. We've got Life After Beth coming up later on at FrightFest. So it really does cross boundaries, and I also feel that people that can make a really good horror film, it's a special talent. Lots of people can go out and make a drama, lots of people go out and make a rom-com. But if you get somebody that Hollywood hire in to do a horror film, they don't often turn out very good, because you need somebody that loves it, that really loves it to do it, to make it a good horror film. So for me, I think there is a real art form in it. I know people say, oh, it's all horrible, it's all gore, it's all just being scared. And it also, it's the only way you can sometimes elicit those feelings. If you want to be scared, you might go on a roller coaster. But to get that real terror of, oh my god, life, doom, type terror, there's no other way without actually facing it yourself without a horror film. I think it's one of the few films where you can really get that adrenaline rush and that boost, and so for me, it's a special genre.
Okay, absolutely, and I agree totally with your point about the Hollywood films, because quite often you have a bigger budget, but the story isn't quite as good.
Yeah.
Whereas when you've got the shorter films, when and the more lower budget films, the more of the kind of thing we're used to in the UK.
Yeah.
I personally do think the stories generally tend to be a lot better.
I think in horror, initially story is key. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you look at the Friday the 13th films, not exactly a lot of story in there, but it's a really good idea, and you've got people that sort of know what they're doing. But I also think that budget, I find, sometimes kills horror. You tend to be less creative when you've got more money. If you're restricted, you have to fit what you're doing. For me, somebody like George Romero is a great point of that. If he had had money, I think instead of Dawn of the Dead, we would have had Land of the Dead at the time, and that would never have been as concept as that film. John Carpenter's another one where he had money, made Escape from LA. When he didn't have money, he made Escape from New York. I mean, for him, Escape from New York was a big budget for him at the time, but still a low budget film in terms of what was around. So I find money can sometimes ruin creativity, so I do love low budget films. Generally often much better.
Absolutely. Okay, and one of your lead actresses was Jessica Cameron, who's a very up-and-coming Canadian actress, isn't she? Sort of specialising more just in pure horror. She's got 56 credits to her name.
She has.
Right?
She's non-stop working.
Yeah, she's got lots of different projects on the go at the moment, hasn't she? So, and she was also an actress in the first feature film shot on iPhone 5.
She was, yes.
Yeah, which is quite unusual.
Yeah, she had a small part in Into Jennifer, which was that. So she was Jennifer. Which was completely shot on iPhone 5, and it's not going to be built up there with the Oscars and stuff, but it's a very clever film. It's an entertaining film, that James Cullen Bresset, the guy that did it, he had a little. You could see there was a good idea and something original with that film. It's a type of found footage type thing. She had a part in managing to get a release done from an iPhone, which is, a few years ago, a film on a phone, never happened. So
technology advances.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was it apart from obviously her huge kind of her whole film credits and stuff, and the fact she's in all of these horror films at the moment? What else was it about her that attracted you to cast her into this role? And what was it like working with her?
She was fantastic to work with, I have to say. Both her and Heather Dorff were absolute troopers on set. We asked a lot of them. We had them up 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. We didn't stop filming until 2, 3. The second day we stopped filming about 5 o'clock in the morning. We had Heather Dorff and whole blood in her, and she was just. Not a single complaint from either one of them. So they were great to work with. With Jessica, it was. We needed somebody that would be able to get that sense of fear, and things that I had seen in her. There was one thing she does very, very well. She looks terrified. She's got a great scream, and that was sort of like the main. If we didn't get that, we lost a lot of what we had in the film. So that was a big thing, and both her and Heather absolutely nailed it. On the trailer, we've got a screen from Heather, and when she first saw that, she straight away emailed me and said, "Oh, that screen, that screen." I can't think of the words. They have the for their showreel. She said that showreel gold. Sorry, words just went completely out of my head.
Well, I mean, obviously there's been a lot of commitment there, especially working till 5 in the morning.
Yes, a lot of commitment. We filmed it down in Winery Manor in Portsmouth, and there was no heating, not even a toilet in there. So we were having to send people across to the church across the road with a key to go to the toilet. So they were in really, really poor conditions in terms of probably things that they've done before, but yeah, they just stuck with it, went with it. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And obviously, you've been very successful with the short so far, getting into FrightFest, etc.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Well, up next with the short, we're going to Montreal next. Then we're going to Screamfest. We're also going to be playing Movie Days Dark Zone in Germany. Movie Zone Dark Days in Germany. We're possibly going to we're waiting to hear back for one in Colorado. There's a few coming up from that. The idea from this is, like I said, we want to make it a feature film. We've got some more ideas for shorts that we want to try and get done next year. But yeah, the idea is to get this one, expand it, get our first feature under our belts, and see where the wind takes us from there.
Absolutely, full steam ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's been, the support we've had for this film has been fantastic, especially not having done it before. So we've been really, really blessed with everybody that's just been behind us. It's been fantastic.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Chicago? Well, welcome to Dark Morte.
Dark Morte Manor has a past, shrouded in shadows and bloodshed.
I could get you in, and if you really wanted, what about your friend?
there have been continued reports of ghostly apparitions and strange, shadowy figures staring out of the windows on full moons.
What was that?
You want to go and find out? This is the most cursed, haunted house in Britain. So, do you want to take the tour?
I'm here with Anthony Ilott, lead actor of Wrong Turn 6.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, Wrong Turn 6 is premiering this week at FrightFest.
Yeah.
Premiered, was it last night?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. It's gone down the storm, I hear, so far.
Yeah, we've had a really good response. I came along with Roxanne Pallett, who played Gillian in the movie, and we were kind of overwhelmed by the experience and how well it was received. I popped back into the actual screening just kind of to watch the end of it, and people were clapping at the end of it, and so yeah, we were really happy, and it was a great day. So yeah, really happy.
Fantastic. And so the story goes that your character basically is alerted to an inheritance, a family inheritance, goes to some backwoods in the US, to a hotel to chase up this inheritance, and then you're introduced to some rather odd, long-lost family.
Yeah, that's right. So the character Danny, he used to work on Wall Street, earning really big money, and he lost a lot of money. His girlfriend's money, his best friend's money, and we are introduced to him when he's at the lowest of his lows. He's kind of been sacked from the job, and he had a suicide attempt, and he's just so depressed. And this kind of, and he's an orphan as well, so he doesn't have any family that he knows of. And so we were introduced to him and his girlfriend and his best friend driving to the hotel with this mysterious inheritance, and finally a tangible family that we never thought we ever had. So it was a really interesting. When I read the script, it was a really interesting character arc, I thought, for Danny, and it gave me something to really kind of grab onto. I was so excited by the script. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. With it being a very strong franchise in Hollywood, so going on to the sixth instalment of this, that's pretty fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that the fans keep wanting more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that the fans love most about this is just obviously the goriness. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of very different style deaths, and especially in Wrong Turn 6, there's some really kind of twisted deaths that you wouldn't necessarily be able to think of yourself, but someone somewhere did. And I think the thing that kind of attracts people to it is the three recurring characters, the brothers. But in our movie, in the sixth installment, we had a new director, kind of a new team, and we wanted to really kind of reboot the franchise again, with Wrong Turn 1 being great, and then we've had 5 since then. It's amazing. Yeah. But this one, kind of, they wanted to really have a good plot that had a bit more background into these brothers as well, into these 3 recurring characters, because they kind of just pop up in the films, kind of just here and there. But in this one, you get an insight into who they are, not necessarily a lot of who they are. But more of an insight, and there's more of a, if you're wanting to watch the movie for all the blood and gore, there's definitely that. But then if you want a bit of a plot with it, there's also that as well. So I was thrilled when I saw the script as well. So it's great.
Absolutely. I mean, this is 11 years on, isn't it, since the first film now with the nice addition. So
it's insane how long it's been running. And 6 films over 11 years is an achievement in one. I mean, the fans just keep wanting more and keep wanting more. And I mean, my Twitter goes crazy whenever anything's posted about Wrong Turn. And there's a really dedicated group of Wrong Turn fans, which is great. And I know they will enjoy it. like questionable things that they do. You know, so, yeah.
I'm sure they will, absolutely. I mean, you know, even in regards to Wrong Turn 1, like, you know, most people I speak to have watched Wrong Turn 1. So, you know...
It does have a big following, it really
does. A massive following.
Yeah, and it's great that that's kind of continued throughout all of the films. There's always been a hype whenever they're going to be released. So yeah, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it coming out on DVD. It was great being here yesterday to watch it on the big screen. Surreal, but great. So yeah, the team we had were fantastic, and we had a great time shooting it. So I think it shows really, especially from watching it. That there's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of laughs in it as well, which is nice. Yeah, we had great actors, really great actors. So I was privileged to be a part of it.
Fantastic. And this is your first feature film, isn't it?
Correct, yeah. So
apart from the fact it's your first feature film and it's a fantastic script, what was it that drew you into the horror genre? Have you always liked horror?
Yes, I have liked horror. I mean, I've always been the kind of guy who hides behind a pillow while watching horror. I'm more of a big fan of thriller horror, that kind of thing. But the chance to do a horror is an incredible opportunity, and especially from we filmed in Bulgaria, and especially from landing in Bulgaria and then doing the read-through, meeting the director, meeting the other actors, we were just kind of immersed in this world of gore and sexiness, and yeah, it has so many elements to it. But it really gives you a chance as an actor to, especially for me, playing Danny, who was at the lowest of all lows, just, you know, kind of delve into the darker side of yourself and also of the character. And he goes on a huge journey. He goes on a very big journey. I don't want to say too much, I don't want to give it away, but he goes on a very big journey, and for me it was great. And I had a great leading actress that I was working opposite, Aquila, who is doing extremely well for herself. There's also Sadie Katz, who is an actress in LA as well. They were the only two American girls in the film, and the rest of us were British. But yeah, Aquila and I had just a really nice relationship, off and on camera. But off camera, we would work really, really hard. And she's a fantastic actress, and she gave me a lot. And it's so good to be able to, when you're acting opposite someone, if they're giving you something, then you're obviously going to be able to give more back. And she would just give you so much, and it was a fantastic experience for me as well. Being my first feature, I learned so much from Aquila, from everybody else on the crew. I mean, we had an incredible crew. They were ridiculously fast at, you know, when we'd cut, there's normally like an hour break where they can set up a different location. We were there within 15 minutes. They had an 80-foot dolly that they'd set up in about 10 minutes. And it was insane. We were and it was a different location. It was only about a 2-minute walk. But by the time we were down there, it was done. And they were like, okay, so places. I was like, this is insane. Yes, it was a great company to work with. Fantastic, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, for going back to the question, veered off a bit. The genre of horror for me, it just, as I said, it allows you to go from one end of the extreme to the other, and I think it's exciting to watch it back. Exciting to see all the blood, see all the gore, see the sexiness, and yeah, especially in Wrong Turn 6, see more of a character arc for a lot of the characters. So,
yeah, I think that's a really good, strong first role to have in a feature film, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was so overwhelmed by even, you know, auditioning for the part, and I knew how big the franchise was. Just since then, I mean, I know I learned so much, and but I was actually chatting to Billy Ashworth, who played Rod in the film, and we were saying this last night, and he said, do you remember when we were having a chat? We were in a hall somewhere in this big building, and he said, do you feel nervous at all about, you know, this? Because it was his first feature film as well. And I was like, I just couldn't believe, I didn't allow myself to think about the pressure of how big this franchise is until about halfway through filming. And I went, oh wow, okay, so, you know, and I really had to step up my game, not halfway through filming, but I really had to kind of get my head in the game and really just go for it, and I think I did. I think I just went for it as best as I could. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Absolutely. And if somebody could offer you a fantastic next role in another Hollywood film, what would that be for you?
That's a really good question. It would be something along the lines of, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, and I love his portrayal in Shutter Island. Something like that would be amazing. Would be great to do something like that. That would be incredible. But yeah, I think I love the horror side. I'd love to do another horror.
Yeah.
But I love thriller as well. So, but also saying that, I mean, I'd love to do drama. I'd love to do comedy. Comedy for me is where I kind of first started out. It's the one thing I wanted to do when I was growing up as an actor. So a comedy part would be amazing as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
That's no
Cheers.
problem. Thank you. Well, that was film for FrightFest 2014. I hope you enjoyed the show. Come back again for FrightFest 2015.